How's it, guys? It's Jack Miller from the Cape Party. I would like to talk about what happened on Saturday at the Land Expropriation hearings. The entire thing was a setup. The government had bussed in the crowd. 90% of the audience was ANC or EFF supporters, all wearing ANC and EFF t-shirts. They had an agenda that they wanted to get across, and they achieved that. It was not a public hearing. They had no interest in sincerely getting the opinion of the people of the Cape. And we were contacted by a number of people that were quite upset about how the hearings were conducted. They actually wanted to hear what we had to say. The crowd and the administrators would not let us do that. And so here is our official statement from beginning to end with all of the facts that we wanted to get across. I would like to start off by saying this entire process is a sham. First of all, because if we use the exact same racist argument that the ANC is using, then there would be no ANC. It is strange that they seem to be completely ignorant to a 1,000-year history that would demand that the whole of Southern Africa, from here to Kenya, should be given to the populations of the original Khoi and San people. Second of all, this is a sham because the most respected reports on this topic, such as those researched by AgriSA and others, has revealed that the arguments put forward by the government is based on factual inaccuracies and lies. The last 24 years of ANC rule has seen their land expropriation program spend over 20 billion rand on acquiring over 2.8 million hectares of land, for which the majority is today lying unused and fallow. To quote just one recent example from the news, two long-standing ANC comrades, Moses Boshamane and Velile Present, were given the Beaconsfield farm with 97 million rand. Within months, not a single farm worker had been paid. An extra 30 million rand of our taxes had to be poured in to cover deficit running costs. 3,000 cattle worth 18 million rand had to be sold. Machinery disappeared and crops died. The news report went on to say, neither Present nor Boshamane had any ancestral claim to the farm, nor did they have any experience in agriculture or farming. What we see here is that the government does not really care about improving the economic conditions of this country. Uplifting PDIs or giving agricultural land to productive black farmers. No. This entire expropriation sham is about inflaming racial hatred and enriching the political elite at the expense of all of us. Now, thirdly, this is a sham because this kangaroo court we are all attending was decided for us before we had even arrived. On Tuesday, we were told by President Cyril Ramaphosa that the opinion of the people of the Cape means nothing. The South African government will change the constitution to allow the expropriation of property without compensation. Whether we like it or not, the ANC is telling us we have no voice and we are tax slaves to be oppressed. Well, we do have a voice, and it is time that we, the oppressed people of the Cape, took a stand. The Cape Party wholeheartedly stands against the ANC's proposal to expropriate property without compensation. Throughout history, the policy of expropriation has been used by three different types of government: communist governments, fascist governments, and Nazis. Expropriation without compensation is quite simply theft. Theft is a criminal act of force with either the use of violence or the threat of violence. Over the last few weeks, some people have referred to this act of violence as a potential act of war. We at the Cape Party believe in peace, prosperity, economic and political freedoms in a society built upon direct democracy. In spite of the violent agenda and racially hostile policies coming from the South African government, we believe that a rainbow nation is still possible, right here in an independent Cape, free to govern ourselves. The Cape Party is proposing here today that the ANC conduct this debate in the provinces that they govern. However, here in the Cape, we are not run by the ANC. And so, we would like to propose a negotiation by example. Instead of imposing what we see to be as an economically and socially destructive policy of expropriation without compensation, we would like the opportunity to prove to the ANC government that with greater political and economic freedom to govern ourselves, we would be able to uplift all of the citizens of the Cape, regardless of race. If the ANC is not interested in negotiating with us on this proposal, we will be left with no other option but to pursue the political and legal pathway towards achieving the independence of the Cape. Along with the ANC, the DA have sold us, the Cape, and our people down the river. With the assistance and the support of Western Cape voters, we at the Cape Party will start building towards the internationally recognized, legal, and peaceful process of holding a democratic referendum in which, if the majority of people in the Western Cape vote in favor, we will declare the Cape an independent country, the Cape Republic. Thank you.